We already know that commas are used to separate items in a list. They're placed between each item in the list apart from the last two, which may be linked with the conjunction and or. We also know that adjectives describe nouns. Let's now explore how to use commas in a list of adjectives, as sometimes they're used and sometimes they're not. Take a look at this simple sentence. They are children. It's not terribly descriptive, so let's add a couple of adjectives to describe the children. Let's say they're tired and hungry. To put these into a sentence, we'd add a comma between the adjectives. They are tired, hungry children. We could even change the order of the adjectives and it would still have the same meaning. They are hungry, tired children. Notice how, even though there's only two items in the list, a comma is used to link them. This breaks our normal rule for using commas in lists. So is this always true with adjectives, even when they come after the noun they're describing? Well, let's see. The children are hungry, tired. Well, this just doesn't sound right, so we'll use our normal rule for commas in lists, which is to use and between the last two items. The children are hungry and tired. Perfect. So what then can we say is the rule? Well, if the adjectives come before the noun they're describing, and if the order of the adjectives can be changed without affecting the meaning of the sentence, then you should add commas between the adjectives. Let's take a look at another example that follows this rule. They held an angry red spider. As you can see, we can change the order of the adjectives and it still has the same meaning. They held a red angry spider. Since the meaning doesn't change, we should use a comma between the adjectives. If you added another adjective to the list, you would still just use commas. For example, they held an angry, red, injured spider. And again, if the adjectives came after the noun they were describing, we just follow the normal rule for commas in lists. The spider was angry, red, and injured. Be careful not to add too many adjectives to describe the same noun though. It can make your writing sound a little awkward. Okay, so when should we not use commas between adjectives? Well, we said we would use them if the order of the adjectives could change without changing the meaning of the sentence. So if the meaning of the sentence does change, we shouldn't use commas. Take a look at this example. They went on a holiday. Let's add a couple of adjectives to describe the holiday to make it more descriptive. They went on a short summer holiday. So, can we change the order of the adjectives without changing the meaning of the sentence? They went on a summer short holiday. Well, clearly not. This doesn't make sense. The reason is that the adjective summer has a very strong link to the word holiday. It's as if they form a close bond. The adjective short is now modifying the noun phrase summer holiday, rather than the noun holiday. Sound a little confusing? Well, just remember, since the sentence doesn't make sense when the adjectives are rearranged, we won't use a comma between them. So, when we're writing lists of adjectives, we need to be a little more careful with our use of commas. If the adjectives come after the noun they're describing, just use the normal rule for commas in lists. If the adjectives come before the noun they're describing, and changing the order of them doesn't change the meaning of the sentence, then use commas. If the adjectives come before the noun they're linked to, and the order of them does matter, then no commas are used.